Hello, while I was shopping, I came across this kit that's supposed to let us make our own emaki sushi at home, and I thought it would be interesting to test it out with you today, for 3 reasons. The first reason is that more and more of you are asking me to try affordable products, and that's the case with this one, since you can find it for around €5. The second reason is because indeed sushi is really expensive whether you eat at a restaurant or get it to go. So, if there's a way to make it yourself, using good ingredients and saving money, it's a win-win. And finally, because I've always wanted to try. But until now, I had this kind of mental block telling me it was complicated, that it was difficult, that I wouldn't be able to do it. So I told myself this was the perfect opportunity to do it and get started. I hope I won't be disappointed, and I suggest we get started right away. Okay then? This kit for 4 people is from the brand Washia. I hope I'm pronouncing it correctly. They specialize in Japanese products, so you may have already seen them in your supermarkets. This kit includes everything for making sushi except the fresh ingredients, of course. So here, in this case, we have our sheets, our rice, sushi rice, so if I'm not mistaken, it's sticky rice. We also have 3 packets of ginger, 3 more of wasabi, knowing that it's not the real thing, it's a kind of imitation. At the same time, at this price, you can't be too picky. Sushi vinegar, soy sauce, and finally a sushi mat, which will help us shape them. All instructions are on the back of the box with photos, which should make things easier for us. Okay, so for the first step, we'll need a small saucepan. We'll pour in 200 milliliters of water and we'll bring it all to a boil. There we go. Now I can lower the heat and we can add our rice. We'll let it cook and wait until the water is completely absorbed. Okay, so it's not even 5 minutes and the rice already looks ready, so I'm going to stop cooking. There we go, I mix it well. Now I'm going to take a bowl and pour my rice into it. As you can see, we have rice that's a bit sticky, which is going to be pretty handy for making our sushi. And now, apparently, we need to pour the packet of vinegar on top, though I'm not sure what it's for. So, if there are any experts, feel free to give us the information in the comments. It could help more than one person, I think. Then, of course, we mix it. And all that's left is to let it cool down at room temperature. In the meantime, I'm going to prepare the fillings. I'll go with 2 fairly classic sushi recipes in France. One with tuna, mayonnaise, and avocado, and the other with salmon and cucumber. So I'll start by taking a ripe avocado and cutting it in half. So apparently, the technique to remove the pit is pretty simple. You just have to press right here. Okay, well, it works, but I took out half the avocado. I think it's really very ripe. I was planning to make slices, but instead, I'll just scoop out the flesh. So I'm going to make a smooth paste. I'm going to add a bit of salt, a bit of pepper, mix it a little more. Perfect. Now I'm going to make my tuna mixture. I'll put some cooked tuna in my bowl, and on top, I'll add a good amount of mayonnaise. Yes, well, I admit it's not homemade, and now all that's left is to crumble and mix. Well, I clearly overdid it with the amount of mayonnaise. I think I'll add some more tuna to balance it out. There, like that, it'll be better. We want something that's neither dry nor too runny. Okay, that looks pretty good to me. I'll set this aside, and now I'm going to start on the cucumbers, knowing that the fresh salmon is already ready, so I won't use all of it. So, I'll start by cutting it first. There we go, and now I'm going to peel it. I cut off the end. Well, it already smells fresh, that's great. And now I'm going to cut this one into several pieces lengthwise. I need to cut off the end again, because otherwise it won't be even everywhere. And there we go. Well, let's be honest, it's not very even, but that shouldn't be a problem. Once the sushi was cut, I ran into a little trouble. I was about to start the next step. And actually, I realized that my rice wasn't fully cooked, simply because I hadn't tasted it beforehand. That's a big mistake on my part, obviously. So, I had to redo part of the cooking and let it cool down again to get to where I am now. Taste your rice right after cooking. Even if it's still hot, it'll save you time. Alright, let's keep going. I'm going to unwrap my sushi mat now. Let's see if it's good quality or not. Okay, well, the wood looks relatively thin, but it seems sturdy and it's tied together with fairly thick cords. That's actually a good sign. However, if you look closely, it's not the exact one from the pictures. That's unfortunate, but we have to make do, so let's get started. I'm going to have them spread out on my board, and I'm going to open my packet with the seaweed. Well, this time it's really green, so I'm going to place it on my mat. We're going to spread our rice on it. So, as you can see, it sticks well. That's exactly what we want, and apparently you need to leave a 1 centimeter border on each side. I'm trying to do this as neatly as possible. I shouldn't put on too thick a layer either because it's going to be rolled up afterwards anyway. There we go, that looks pretty good to me. Next, he recommends making a line of wasabi. I'm going to add a bit of sesame seeds, and all that's left is to place our filling. Alright, I'm going to need a small piece, and now I'm going to add little cubes of salmon along the whole length, and that's what it looks like. Honestly, that looks pretty good to me, and now we're at the trickiest step, the one I dread the most. We're going to have to roll everything up and form our sushi. I hope I can get it right on the first try. So, if I understood correctly, you have to start from the side with the filling, and you have to grab everything while making sure it stays in place. I go all the way until the two seaweed sheets touch, and you have to press it firmly. And there you go, I have my roll. It looks pretty compact inside. I think we're good. I'll put this on my board and use my pre-moistened knife blade. They say to cut this in half first, then into thirds. Those pieces are still big, so I'll try making 4 from the other half. Yeah, actually no, it looks trickier, harder to cut. Well, it started off well by following the instructions, but when I tried to make more pieces, it went all over the place. So I'm going to try again with the tuna and avocado version, and we'll see how it goes. So here we go again. This time I'm going to place the sheet this way. I put my rice on, there we go, I spread it out. This time, I'm not going to add wasabi, since there will already be mayonnaise, but I'm still going to add some sesame seeds. I'm going to make a line of avocado. And next to it, I'm going to put my tuna. Now I turn it over, I carefully take my sheet and I try to form my roll, and there you go. Looks like I have my second roll, so I'm going to try to cut it neatly with another type of knife. This time, okay, it seems to be going better. I think I need to wash it almost between each sushi. Ah no, it's coming apart. Once again, you didn't see anything. I think you really have to go gently. Okay, well, the problem is really that it's not compact enough. Well, I managed to make a few sushi, but honestly, visually, they're not perfect, and that's actually what I was afraid of. It still takes quite a bit of practice, experience, and dexterity to roll the mat properly, pack everything tightly, and make cutting easier. But hey, fortunately, it's something you can overcome. It's just a matter of experience. Alright, now all that's left is to taste them, so I'll start by pouring my sauce into the little bowl. There we go. Well, judging by its texture, it's a salty sauce. At the same time, it's the only one, the original. I'll start with the salmon one. Wow, you can really taste the wasabi. I probably used a bit too much, but it's still good. The rice wasn't cooked all at once. That's on me. Now let's try the tuna one. Really good. Time to review this kit that was meant to help us make sushi at home. As you saw, it keeps its promises. It's complete, and you can prepare it easily by following the instructions on the back. I found it pretty accessible, even though, honestly, there's a bit of a challenge at the end. But of course, that depends on the individual. The only flaw I could point out is the number of packages inside. That's why if I make sushi again, I'd probably prefer to get the different ingredients separately and in larger quantities to save money. So it's a crash test and a product that's approved, but I only recommend it if you're just starting out. Anyway, that's it. It's over now. I hope you had a good time with me. If you want more videos like this, feel free to let me know in the comments. And as for me, I'll see you very soon for new adventures. Goodbye!